Rubik's Cubers are exceptionally talented. The greatest of all time can solve these cubes in a matter of less than 4 seconds. Rubik's Cube World Championships on their own are spectacles that have produced great events, including the moment where Felix Zembegs won 2 World Championships in a row. He didn't win 3 World Championships in a row, though. Patrick Mahomes could do that tomorrow, and I don't like that. It almost feels like the Chiefs' repeat is inevitable, but I'm here to tell you guys if it is, or if it isn't. I got some Chiefs athletes and I got some Eagles athletes. Today, we're going to figure out which of them are going to go into the Super Bowl and win and raise the Vince Lombardi trophy. Who's Vince Lombardi, actually? Vince Lombardi. It's a football coach. Oh yeah, I knew that. So here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to formulate the Chiefs team and the Eagles team, and we're going to see how they stack up against in 3 different matches. In the first match, we're going to go head-to-head in a 2x2 sprint dash. Next, we're going to do a big cube marathon, where we're going to solve a 5x5, a 6x6, and a 7x7, and we'll see how the endurance test runs there for both teams. Finally, we're going to do the classic 3x3 Rubik's Cube head-to-head tournament. Whoever wins the most matches is going to win the Super Bowl. And to select the teams, I'm going to go on the cubicle.com. And then when you draft players in the NFL, it's sort of like buying cubes off the cubicle. You want to have the greatest prospects, and you want to have the best cubes on the market. And the Cubicle is your perfect draft class. They have all of the top performing speed cubes on the market. And not only that, they also have the best lubes, they have the best professional setups, and they have the best selection of accessories and customer support that you could imagine as a professional speed cuber. So if you want to go ahead and buy stuff on the Cubicle, then go use my link below at thecubicle.com and use discount code Clicky Studios for 5% off your order. That's code Clicky Studios for 5% off your entire order. Now let's go back on the Cubicle and take a look at some of the stuff that we have here. So the first event is going to be sprint event, so it's going to be fast. I want to choose the fastest players here. So when I think the Chiefs, I think they do have some very fast players. Xavier Worthy, I think, is one of the fastest players I've ever seen on the field, at least when I was watching. But with that being said, I am going to give them the old reliable of the YJ MGC 2x2. They've just been so good in that game, but there hasn't really been a breakout player that's made a scene while sprinting. And the breakout player I'm talking about that the Chiefs is missing is obviously Saquon Barkley. As a New Jerseyan, seeing him on Philly and succeeding hurts. No pun intended. But with that being said, Saquon is just that breakout player that you need on your team. And so for that reason, I'm going to choose the GAN 251M Pro. He's just so fast. He's been really good in recent years, even though we've had some old reliable options with the YJ MGC 2x2. Next, I'm going to choose the Big Cube Marathon. And that's what's going to be really interesting. So I think the Chiefs do better in terms of endurance and strength. Even though they've kind of barely held on to that 15-2 record, it's just they've been such a good team over these past few years that, I feel like I have to give that edge over the Eagles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give cubes that have had better reputations over longer periods of time. I'm going to give the Chiefs the Altron WRM 5x5, the YJ MGC 6x6, and the YJ MGC 7x7. These have been cubes that have been around for a very long time, and I think they're going to be really good for the Chiefs. Eagles, I think they have a lot of new weapons, but I'm going to give them their newest players. I'm going to give them the GAN 5x5, I'm going to give them the Alshi 6x6, and of course the Alfu 7x7. Alright, now let's go with the 3x3. When I think of this battle, I'm going to think of the quarterback. I want the quarterback to sort of represent this 3x3. So for that reason, I'm going to go with the Moyu WR V9 for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. This V9 has been really consistent over the past few years. Not only has it been reliable, it's been accurate, and it's just been really good to any setup that you use. Any cuber is going to like the V9. This is going to be a little bit left field, but for Jalen Hurts, I'm choosing the Super Waylon V1. Now, this cube isn't really talked about a lot, mainly because of its really high price point. It's a very fast-paced cube, sort of like Jalen Hurts himself. Jalen Hurts is undoubtedly one of the best at scrambling around the ball, and we need sort of that speed in this cube right here. With all that setup and that jargon out of the way, now let's get into the actual matches. Welcome everybody to the CSL, the Clicky Studios League. Today, we're going to go in and talk about the Clicky Bowl 59,
There's 58 other Clicky Bowls you missed, but the one that's going on today is on YouTube.com for all of you to watch. You're watching the Clicky Bowl 59 right now, and we're going to go straight into all of the events. We'll start off with the 2x2 dash, the Big Q Marathon, and then we're going to end off with the captivating 3x3 finals. But before we get started, I want to introduce our athletes here. We have the New Jersey Chiefs, represented by Carter Williams. And then we also have the New Jersey Eagles, represented by Carter Williams. I didn't know one athlete could represent two teams, but that's kind of whatever. Let's go on and talk about the 2x2 dash right here. Now, two very, very skilled competitors. Let's see how they do, and let's go straight into the action and onto the stack mat right now. And let's get started with the Chiefs and the Eagles. Both of them start solving, and it looks like the Eagles are going to take the early lead, maybe starting off a little bit slow there with the recognition, but let's go on to the second match. We're going to have the Chiefs starting off first for the second solve, and it looks like the Chiefs recognizing that OLL pretty well. 374. Will it stack up against the Eagles? Let's find out. And the Eagles prevail with a 324 single, so that's going to be 2-0 for the Eagles. The next point will win the game if the Eagles win. So this is going to be first to 3. So we'll have these two competitors solve head-to-head. And the Eagles get started early. They're going to have a bit of a lockup, though. Let's see if the Chiefs should recover here. And, oh, man, it's another lockup for the Chiefs. And that's going to be the Eagles 3-0. And the Eagles are going to take the first point on the board for the Clicky Bowl, which means the Eagles are right now favored to win the Super Bowl. But we still have the Big Q Marathon and the 3x3 dash ready to go. And now let's go on to the Big Q Marathon. So both competitors will be solving a 5x5, a 6x6, and a 7x7. And here they go. Alright, so centers and, more centers. Wow, this is, like, boring as let's just speed this up, okay? And let's see if anything exciting happens. And we do have a little bit of excitement here. The Eagles have popped their green center. When they said they were going to pop off this year, that's not what they meant. Ow! It looks like that's going to cause the Eagles a lot of time left, but they are going to be able to pop in that center back. At least they were able to pop back in that center and solve that center problem, because they've had a lot of problems with their center. Ow! You gotta hit me with, like, better stuff, man. Jesus. And ever since that, the Eagles weren't really able to recover, because as soon as the Eagles finished solving their 7x7, well, the Chiefs were well ahead with their 6x6. And 5x5, as the Chiefs were starting to finish the race, the Eagles were way too far behind. So the Chiefs are going to take this 1-1. So that means the 3x3 event is going to determine who is going to win the Super Bowl. So here we go. This is going to be really exciting. Stick around, because we're going to go on with the first solve. So the Chiefs using some inspection time, and it looks to be a smooth start. Maybe some pauses in the F2L, but otherwise a seamless solve with a U-perm, a 797 for the Chiefs. And now on to the Philadelphia Eagles. Can they beat a 797? The start looks really smooth and very fluid. Not as many pauses as the previous solve. And they do end up beating that 797 for their own 704. And now on to the Chiefs, losing that point there, which should have been easy for them. Let's see if they can recover again with a good solve. And that's going to be a good solve there, 734 for the Chiefs. Let's see if the Eagles can once again top that off with their magic. We saw them get a 704 before, but it looks like this solve is not going to live up to that standard, unfortunately. Yeah, 704 out of the reach. So that's going to be the Chiefs point, 1-1. And now here we go with the Chiefs back at it again, 1-1. They should be feeling pretty good about this scoreline. And it looks to be a smooth solve. The last pairs were kind of weird with the S-move OLL. Let's see how a 966 is going to stack up against the Philadelphia Eagles. And it looks like the Eagles are taking their time here. Are they going to beat a 966? That G-perm has to save them, and it does. 903 for the Eagles. It's going to be 2-1 with the Eagles in the lead. They are in full control of their destiny here. Let's see how the Chiefs do, though. Trying not to get the lead out of hand. Pauses on that first pair. The recognition wasn't good in inspection. And this OL in the last layer of that U3 not looking too favorable, 1137. This should be an easy pickup for the Eagles. And the Eagles go on here. Let's see, they should be able to pick up the win. The first pair, though, Rocky. Maybe this could be a Chiefs steal. But no, the Soon OL and the T-Perm are a lifesaver for the Eagles. Free one. And now the Chiefs have to bounce back somehow. Let's see how they do on this solve. Good start. Second pair, a little bit rocky, but the C-shape OL and the J-Perm are going to give them an 809. That's a pretty good chance. Let's see how the Eagles, though, stack up. And the 809 should put the Chiefs maybe back in there, but those pairs look really good. Breaking up that free pair, though, but it doesn't matter for the Eagles because that's going to be an 809. It's going to be a 742 for the Eagles, which means they are 4-1 right now. They are in full destiny. The next solve wins for them. Let's see, the Chiefs are going to get their final try here. Oh, and it's rocky. It doesn't look good for the Chiefs. A lot of lockups. A lot of pauses on that G-Perm, too, as well. 10-14. The Eagles need a sub-10, or maybe a little bit worse, to win the Super Bowl. Let's see what we got going on here. Integral moments for the Eagles. Let's see. They're going to take this once again low and slow like they've always done, but I think this is going to work in their favor. 7 seconds at the PLO, and it's an 890, which means the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl. They're going to stop the Chiefs' repeat, and everyone will be happy, I guess. So there you have it. Clicky Studios officially predicts that the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl, and we are really good at predictions.
Ninth place, I have Luke Grayson.
He has to remember his,
Luke.
what was it, the ZBLO?
Shout out to Clicky Studios for putting me 9th in finals predictions. I had you in mind.